It's monumental. Today is monumental. It is December 16th, and it is the last of my online virtual classes that I'll be teaching for a bit. I don't know when they're going to start back up again. I will continue to mentor students on Fridays. That's going to be going as long as I have students in our yoga online teacher trainings. That'll be happening. But I'm moving some of my energies to my spiritual school, which will delve into the mysteries of the cosmic forces and divining and all kinds of interesting astrological phenomenon that we can learn about, and reading cards, reading tarot cards. So if anyone is interested in doing that, please reach out to me so you can join. Those will be on Wednesday evenings. And I'm so grateful that all of my students who have been coming to these classes have given me a reason to show up and teach week after week during the pandemic. And I'll have to say, I began teaching because of you, because students were like, we need you more than ever now. Please, will you teach yoga classes online? And this was back in April of 2020. And of course, we all had to pivot in our own special ways. And this is what unfolded, was Zoom and online yoga school and doing classes together here, you know, on the screen with these little boxes. And it has been a blessing and a miracle. And it has helped me get into a new home here on Kauai. And it has blessed me with so many connections that I may not have ever had, because getting to Kauai traveling is difficult. And I'm no longer traveling much anymore. So it really served a purpose for me and for our yoga school over time. So thank you so much for being part of this community. After teaching for 25 years, I feel more connected to my yoga community. And even though I'm so far away, and that has been such a miracle for my life during this time. So thank you. Thank you for being part of this. And I'm excited, you know, for new things and for changes. And I know for myself, I need to constantly reinvent and extend into new categories and new places and venture into new states, philosophies, cultures. And for me, bringing in the elements of spiritual school beyond the yoga room, beyond the mat, is just the next calling of my heart. So classes will continue to be accessible online on the Google Drive. If you don't have access and you need access, just let me know. I'm happy to make sure you have that. And again, that's indefinite. So if you've ever paid for a course, or if you've ever done paid for a yoga class, like an annual pass, all these classes will continue to be accessible indefinitely. As long as Google has a Google Drive and mine is still on there, you'll be able to view these classes. And there's nothing more important than continuing education and playing with information in a way that enlivens and expands us and helps our day-to-day, our week-to-week get better, be better, helps us expand beyond our own little world. I had a discussion with my mom today, and then we'll get to class. I had a discussion with my mom today, and it was really about how our worlds, in a lot of ways, even though it feels like it's gotten bigger and we have the web and we have all this knowledge at our fingertips, our worlds have actually gotten smaller. Like, we're staying home more. That was like promoted to us for like over a year. We are, you know, like a little scared to be out there in the world doing things and active, because there's still this thing, this illness that hangs over our head and seems to just keep morphing and changing. And despite what your feelings are about it, the world is a scary place for a lot of people, and we can confine ourselves and sort of protect ourselves from the vulnerability we feel being out there in the world. So I just want to, I guess, encourage you to keep giving yourself connection, and to keep giving yourself community, and to keep reaching out to others in ways that are safe and joyous and celebratory. And especially during holiday season, like we're having now, it's more important for us to put ourselves with our neighbors and with our friends and reach out and call. Everybody is going through stuff right now. And everybody will continue to go through stuff as time goes by. We need each other. We really do. So hi to Peter. You're welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you could be on. Namaste. I'll see you soon. So the class today, I thought it would be really interesting to get back to the core of my current studies in the Radiant Sutras. And Dr. Lauren and Camille have just come back to in-person training. So if you're looking for someone to learn some yoga with, some meditation in particular, Dr. Lauren, the author of the Radiant Sutras, he and his wife Camille are wonderful teachers, and they'll be giving some workshops at Esalen in Big Sur, California, in the new year. So I really encourage you to look them up. And if you need to get a little closer to home, mainland vacation, Esalen Institute is a beautiful, magical place on the cliff sides of Big Sur. And because the cosmic energy has been circulating through me by the astrology studies and the divination studies I've been doing recently, I wanted to give you a sutra today to begin our practice that really embodies that feeling that I have with this spiritual school and the spiritual studies, and how important it is for me in my life. So take a comfortable seat or lay down on your back. Allow yourself to find a cozy place for you to take in these beautiful words of Sutra 77. And this is from the Vayana Bhairava Tantra, which is an old text from India, tantric text. And let your heart and your mind and your body exhale and open to receive this ancient wisdom in poetry, in symbol, in wisdom. Chit Dharma Sarva Deshu Vish Shah Nashti Kutrach Chit Tata Chantamayam Sarvam Bhavyan Bhavajitjanam. The heart of the universe pulses in all hearts. There is one who is the life in all forms. There is one who is joyful in simply existing in all bodies, as all bodies. Explore the life that is the life of your present form. One day you will discover it is not different from the life of the secret one. And your heart will sing triumphant songs of being at home everywhere. One day you will discover it is not different than the life of the secret one, and your heart will sing triumphant songs of being at home everywhere. So you'll hear the winds and you'll hear the birds and you'll hear the sounds of life living outside what seems like outside of you. But as you breathe in and out and you find that oneness with all, and allow yourself to merge, to unify to yoga with these sounds, with these elements and activities, with these layers of being, and share your breath and your heart and your life with it. You will feel it dancing already in you. Those birds are you, the wind is you. The sound of the mower out in the distance is you. And as we open and receive, we begin to understand we are everything and we are everywhere. Our consciousness shared permanently with life and all things. So feel yourself breathing with this knowledge. Feel yourself activated by it. We'll bring our palms together at heart center. If it feels good for you to take your own special mudra, take a moment with your eyes closed to feel that you're becoming more of yourself again. Returning to the essence of your nature, returning to the source of your breath, remembering all that you are. You are here to create the life that you want. This is your chance to do it again. And you can do it over and over and over and commit over and over and over again, as many times as you need to. Take a deep breath in and move it to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, exhale down into the earth, bathing the floor underneath you with your prana. And it's not just yours. Inhale, fill yourself up with the prana of all life and let it move up through your antenna. Get online with Great Spirit. Know that you already were. Now you're just making that connection. And then as you exhale, bathe again the earth now down deep into the core layers of the earth, feeling your connection to the earth, how it sustains you and how you're held by it. One more breath. We'll rub the palms together. Hold the breath, hold the breath. Exhale, turn the palms out and give your thanks through your own. As a radiant being, you receive radiance through this exchange of energy, both through my hands and your hands and the hands of life. Deep breath in and sigh out anything that you need to let go of right now. Release. And then let's come on to our bellies today to begin. So transfer your weight onto your belly. I'm gonna come down here for this first little section. Transfer your weight onto your belly and come all the way down so you're resting fully on the floor. So our word, our Sanskrit word today is tanmaya, which tanmaya means I'm made up of that or absorbed within that. I am identical to that. And the practice is that when we acknowledge that we arise from the same source, whatever that is, and that the laws of nature are identical to what's within your body and the other bodies that are around us, we acknowledge that we're communing constantly. You can turn your head in the other direction. Dr. Lauren says humans have an instinct to commune with the universe and with all the other creatures in creation. So we follow that instinct to commune and we develop a kinship with everything that is in a body. It could be a bug, a person, a planet, a divination card. Something has a body, a form. It is relative to you. So let's start with the body of the earth. So take your elbows and place them down on the floor in front of you, underneath your shoulders, about shoulders distance apart. So we're really used to doing our Sphinx pose from here, but we're going to do something a little different. So you want to feel like you're retracting your shoulders back towards each other. You feel your heart's coming forward. You want to turn on your belly. So you want to pull into your belly. You want to turn onto your pelvic floor. So you want to feel your pelvic floor lifting and engaging. And the legs are active. So now we have this relationship with gravity where we're a participant. We're syncing ourselves with the energy of the earth. And now let's take another shape. So leave your left arm on the floor and just bring your left forearm kind of at an angle across the front of your mat. Okay. And then reach back with your right arm, bending your right knee, and see if you can catch your foot. If you can catch your foot, push into your left forearm and then pull in. If you can't catch your foot, stay low and catch your foot. You can still press your forearm into the ground and your pelvic floor down and just see if you can get a nice stretch on the right quad. So we're not working hard here. We're just feeling the right thigh open up. We're feeling the right hip, pelvis, psoas into the front of the leg. And if you can bring your heel into your booty, great. Good. Release that. Let's change sides. Take the right forearm now. Switching it out. Right forearm now on the ground. I give my hand a press into the earth as I reach my left arm back to grab my left ankle or foot. So if you're coming up high, you're going to get more of a back bend. If you're staying low, you're getting more of the quad stretch. You can do them both. You can pull your heel in and press down through your right forearm arm and get both together. So see which one feels most appropriate for you here, early stage of our practice today. Take a big breath into your heart space. Give yourself a little inner smile like, my body is alive. I'm feeling everything turning on. And then exhale, slowly release and rest. This time, make a little pillow with your hands and rest your forehead on the ground. And just give yourself a few moments to rest. So you can use this mantra for yourself today. It is the same consciousness pervades my body and every body. The same consciousness pervades my body and every body. That means consciousness of the earth, consciousness of the stars. They do the same. This is your gift of peace today. Press back into child's pose. Push your hands into the floor. Bend at your knees. You can go through table position if you want. You can be really luxurious about going through your table position. You can go kind of lean forward and back over your hips, pelvis. Turn on my mat. Do a little of this kind of work. You can have your toes curled under so you can stretch into the arches of your feet and toes. If you want, you can make some circles and arches and curls. So we're eventually moving our butt to sit back on our heels. You can keep your arms overhead and redirect your forehead to the ground, or you can uncurl your toes, sit on the heels, and then bring your forehead down closer to your knees, arms by your side. So true child's pose is here, Balasana. But the other variation can be nice on your back and your spine. So just see what your body's kind of directing you towards. Let them both feel good. Take about 3 to 5 breaths here. Just really soak it up, soak it in. Awesome. On inhale, slowly raise up back to all fours. Cross at your ankles behind you. And if you can, sit back again towards your heels and then sit up. So you're actually crossed underneath. You're going to feel one of your heels probably into your groin area. We're just stimulating a little pressure point there and massaging it. So sit tall, do your best. I know it's a hard one sometimes to feel the bones pressing on each other. Come forward again. Let's change it out. Set the other leg on top or underneath. Sit back on the heels. You only have about 2 or 3 breaths here. This side might be tighter. You may notice as you sit back. Whew, that's a really deep, intense pressure point. You might be feeling it in the back of your ankles. You might be feeling it in the Achilles tendon, calf. Might even feel it in your thighs or knees, but really what we want to feel is that connection to where our heel meets with our sitting bone. That's where we're getting the pressure point. Deep breath in and out. Come forward onto all fours. Good. So this time, keeping the toes underneath, take your right arm up by your right ear, take your left arm back, and then play with drawing the elbow and the knee towards each other. As you do that, round your spine and kind of pull everything in, and then inhale, reach back out. So straight out, and then pull in and round. Do that about 3 or 5 more times, connecting to that center line and your balance. Good, changing it out, left hand and right leg, reach out. Feel the length first, pull into your belly, broaden the shoulders, and then begin your movement. In, squeeze and round, and out, lengthen, spread. Squeeze as you exhale. Inhale as you reach back out. So 3 times to 5 times more. Good. Inhale, stretch it out, and exhale, lower it down. Curl the toes under, press back, downward facing dog, and then pedal out your feet. So we just opened up the calf muscles. So you may notice from the sitting bones towards the heels, you have a better connection to that line of energy. It moves through your legs. And then press all the way back with your next exhale. See if you can drop your heels down. If you have to bend your knees a little bit, do so. But spread and fan out your tailbone, sitting bones. Stretch into the calf muscles. Connect into your toes. Good. Now lean forward, come onto your hands, bring your weight forward, like towards plank, and then back towards down dog. Good. Do that a couple more times. Inhale. Forward, you can even slightly look up Exhale, tuck the chin to the chest, look back towards the toes, down dog. Inhale, plank, tip the chin, squeeze the booty. Exhale, spread it out, lift it up. Inhale forward, and exhale back. Last one. Inhale forward, and exhale back. Perfect. Come back down onto all fours again. This time, come all the way up. And I gotta adjust my, I'm gonna adjust this here. All right, so we're on our knees. You may need your blocks, you may not. If you'd like to have blocks for bridge pose, I'm sorry, for wheel. Why am I not getting the words? Camel. You need it for camel. That's where we're going. So hands behind you. Start here. Now, not everybody's going to get the full Ustrasana, especially this early on in practice. But what we want to do is we want to get the action. So the action is press your pelvis forward, lift your heart. So that's your inhale. Your exhale is coming back to neutral spine. Okay, so it's a bare minimal movement through the pelvis and hips. You're pressing your hands down along your waistline. So you feel like the sacrum bone and tailbone is moving down. Your knees are heavy towards the earth, but you're lifting up out of your low back as you arch. So you want to push your pelvis forward rather than leaving your pelvis back and arching. You want to keep the hips and pubis pressing towards, and you'll feel it weight heavier on your knees. So it's inhale here and exhale to neutral. So you're going to do it about 5 more times. Just your basic movement with the toes curled under into a supported back bend. Camel 1. And you can stay with this camel version throughout this next little section. You don't have to move further from here. Good, so just waking up the spine and the belly, uncurl the toes, sit back, maybe you're sitting back on your block, and pause in Virasana or Vajrasana, closing your eyes, settling your sitting bones into the floor of your block, and just pausing, feeling your heartbeat, feeling your spine, feeling your energy. 3 big breaths, prana fill your body. Don't skimp. Like really exhale your breaths out completely. Like push out that stale air. And really fill up your lungs completely. Replacing the stale air with that fresh, new oxygen. Perfect. Okay. Back to our camel versions. So if you want to take the next version of camel, you can just let the tops of your feet rest on the ground, have your blocks handy, and you'll reach back to your blocks. So you might have to lean back a little bit. Again, the movement is press the hips forward, draw the head back, and then come back to the first position where you're kind of just leaning back on your blocks. So the hands stay on the blocks the whole time. If this is too much, again, you can just do this first movement. You might notice you have a little bit more range. And for some of you, if you can reach back, it might just be easier to grab the heels. And if that's your case, grab your heels. The movement is inhale, push the chest towards the sky and draw the shoulders back. Exhale to neutralize your spine, drawing your chin in and your belly in. So inhale, you push your belly forward, hips forward, head back. Exhale, tuck the chin. So this is in light of the 5 Tibetans. We're kind of playing with some of those similar movements where we repeat movements in and out of poses, making them a little bit more therapeutic, but also more energetic. So once you've done about 5 rounds, your way out is come to that neutral spine, take your hands back to your low back sacrum and let your hands help you lift yourself out. So you push into your body, draw up through your heart, and then sit back into your Vajrasana or Virasana pose. So you're making a little seat with your feet or putting your block down. This time, rest your hands in your lap. You can connect your thumb tips. So you're bringing your hands, right hand over the left, and then the thumbs come together kind of right at that belly button or heart line. And just let yourself soften, especially muscles of the face, shoulders, bringing the head to neutral. You're just feeling your symmetry. See if you can tune into the conversation between the right and the left side of your body. So there's a relationship there. There's a unification and a harmonization that's happening between the right and the left, the front and the back, the top and the bottom, the inner and outer. Take another big breath here in this neutral space. If there's any tensions you're feeling in your face or jaw or throat, let those go now with a little soft sigh out. And then we'll come on to our booties and open the legs wide from here. Now I'm going to turn off this. Okay, Tanmaya. So remember, Tanmaya is this unification that we're working on. That is part of what's already there. And we're just tuning into what's already there. All right, side body stretching. So you can take your blocks to either side of your legs. And you can put the blocks on the inside or the outside, or you don't have to use blocks at all. So we're going to start first, just sitting tall. So relax the shoulders, find where your spine would be, like in an easy sitting pose. And if you have to adjust your legs because maybe your groins are tight, or maybe the backs of your legs are tight, adjust your legs in if you're feeling tightness or pulling, and adjust your legs further out until you feel like something is happening. You don't need the deepest stretch possible, maybe about 70% of what you can do. Perfect. So just close your eyes and sit here for a few moments. Tune into your bones, like your actual skeleton. So we all have a skeleton. The bones are universal in all humans. We all have maybe different shaped bones. But basically, this skeleton, this bony structure that forms the central architecture of our bodies, we can be in relationship to that. So as we bring our consciousness to our bones are alive. They have marrow. This is our deepest blood reservoir, minerals. And so you can imagine as you sit here and connect to your bones, you're sending them a message of gratitude, of love, of peace. Peace in my bones, joy in my bones, love in my bones. And you feel that aliveness that you have. Your bones are made up of all of your stories and all of your nutrition for life. So whatever's imperfect, we forgive, and we make this deeper commitment to nourish our bones with all the good food and the movements that our body needs to stay strong. Perfect. From here, we'll do a little asymmetry. So bend your left knee and bring your left heel into your left inner groin. Again, I want to tip this just a little bit more so you guys can see me better. There we go. Okay. So now we have left heel into left inner groin, right legs off to the side. So we still have this V shape with our legs. Right hand is going to slide down the right shin. It doesn't matter how far it goes, but we're going to lean over in that direction. So we're getting our side stretch. We're getting our right inner groin stretch. And again, just stay at 70%. It's not important we go maximum, but if you can reach and grab your big toe with your index and middle finger, do so. And then place your left hand on your heart. Okay, so we're going to bend the right elbow slightly. We're going to hang the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then start to turn your heart towards the sky. You're going to all of a sudden start to feel that left side body opening even deeper. Imagine you're making your left hip like an anchor that is getting dropped down deep into the earth. So anchor that left hip. It wants to come up a little bit, so just imagine you're settling it down. So feel all the information, sensation, and energy that's happening inside that left hip. Hang your head a little bit more. You might have to even shake it or bobble it a little bit. And then maybe bend your right elbow a little bit more. Lean a little further. So a couple options. You can take your left hand now from your heart, keeping your heart open, and like press and massage your left leg or left hip. You can even use a little soft fist with your left hand and kind of do some drumming around that left hip, left sacrum bone, left side of the pelvis, hip crease. Another way we can include more energy flow here is to swoop up that left arm and reach it to the sky and even turn to look at it. If that feels okay for your head and neck, for your arm, do that. You can also turn your head in the opposite direction. You can let your arm rest on your block, so you take out any kind of energy from your lower body and really spread and reach as high as you can with your left arm. Keep the head hanging if you can. Keep the heart opening if you can. Take another breath. Good. Finally, we'll turn our palm so it faces behind us. So you're just literally turning your hand away from you, and then so it reverses. Back of your hand now faces your computer. Then send your arm behind you. So the back of your hand rests at your back waist, or maybe even wraps all the way around to your right side. And then again, twist and open your heart. Lift the front of your chest. Imagine you're arching back slightly like you did in Ustrasana camel pose, like you did in Cobra or Sphinx when we were sitting on our bellies. Good, one more breath. And exhale, release. You're going to turn towards your right leg slightly. Left hand comes to the floor. Right hand comes to the floor. Walk yourself slowly up. We open up that left side, so you got to take as much time as you need. Counter pose, left hand to the floor behind you. Right arm is going to sweep up and the hips push forward like we did for camel, only we're now getting that back arch with spread legs. Good, let it feel good. Maybe do a couple circles with that right arm. Play with it. Enjoy that opening and that feeling. And then slowly release your hips back down to the earth. All right, pause. Bring both feet to center. Clasp your hands around your feet. Give your butterfly wings a little flutter. Take a breath or two. If you want, you can wiggle and bobble through your whole body. Good, and let's change sides. So take your left leg out. I like that, Ron. Take your left leg. That was a good wiggle. Take your left leg out straight. Right heel into right groin. Open it out. Again, we get that V-shaped wide V through our legs. Start slow. So there's never a need to push. Just in communion with your body temple. The invitation is always like, okay, how far do we need to go to get the medicine from the pose? Right? Slide your left hand down your left leg. Start easy and start slow. You reach and grab somewhere along your leg. And then let your left ear drop towards your left shoulder. Let your right hand come to your heart. So when was the last time you connected to your own heart? Not just the heart space, but the actual heart muscle. The heart is happy when blood is flowing, when fluids are moving. And heart is the waters, represents the emotional body, right? Our heart can hurt. Our heart can celebrate. Our heart feels excited. And those are all ways that we express deeper emotions that are going on in the heart. So give your heart a big breath and a big message of gratitude. And connect to the consciousness of your heart that is in the hearts of all beings everywhere. We all want to be loved. We all want to matter. We all want to connect and be of service to the world in some way, shape, or form. And if it's not the whole world, maybe just being of service to our family, or the people who are important to us, or some cause that has meaning. So we celebrate that we all have heart, and we all bring our hearts into this life that we're living. Grab hold a little further if you can, or maybe let your block come in for support. Bend your left elbow a little bit more, hang your head a little more. This time, let's turn slightly towards the sky with our heart. And maybe now we'll come back to giving ourselves a little drumming on the hip softest with the right hand. And maybe you're feeling your jaws tight today and you need to do a little opening your mouth and jaw, sticking out your tongue while you're here, letting out a little growl, lion's breath or dragon's breath. Good. It's moving out any stuck energy that may be in the heart. The heart needs to express, or else it gets clogged, and we don't want that. Good. From here, let your right hip become heavy. Let your right arm become light. So raise it to the sky. Good. Find a way to make this even more powerful for you. So maybe you're resting your forearm on your block. Maybe you're reaching as high as you can go without levitating off the ground. And then open your heart towards the sky, hang the head back, breathe in, breathe out. Let your wings expand. Your arms are an extension of your heart. And with your heart on fire and your spirit moving you, you will always be aligned and in tune with what move to make. Who is right for you in your life? What is the best path to follow? Your heart's path. Good, and then turn your palm away from you and then back behind you. So spin your arm around, bring it around behind your back. Rest it along your back waist, or see if you can wrap that hand and finger around the side waist, left side. Good, pulling open to your heart. Give yourself a little mini back bend, very slow, very small. Feel the shoulder and the right side of the chest open up. Soften the jaw, soften the throat, breathe in, breathe out. Conscious air breathing through, opening the heart even more. And then release slowly that right arm. Start to turn towards your left leg. Right hand comes in front of you onto the floor. Left hand comes down onto the floor. And you push the floor so you can slowly raise up. Move slow on your way out. Good. Pause center. Counter pose. Right hand behind you, right near your right hip. Left arm is going to help sweep up and push your hips forward. So you push and lean into your right palm. It's almost like you're coming into a side plank in a way. That's the feeling. You're lifting across the front of your body. You can look over your right shoulder, back at your hand. You let the hips open, pelvis press forward. Get that space, maybe even a couple circles of your left arm if that feels good. Figure out what direction that circle needs to be, or both directions, and then land the hips lightly back towards the ground. And once again, we'll pause, center, take a breath. Let out a sigh. And then take your left foot to meet with your right again in butterfly pose. This time, we'll send our feet a little further out. So maybe our first version, we had our heels right into our groin. Now we have a big kite shape or a diamond shape between our feet. I'm sorry, between our hips and our feet. So you have the arches of your feet kind of close, but they'll kind of split open. That's the natural movement of the feet, is external rotation as we externally rotate the hips. You can leave your feet where they are on the floor, or you can elevate them. So this is what gets interesting. If you start to elevate your feet, you're going to get a new opening in your hips and thighs. So even just a little elevation of your feet, like placing a blanket underneath them or a block underneath them, can be an interesting experience. So you can try that. If your body cooperates, you can even do blanket and the elevation of the block. Good. Okay, grab your feet and then come forward from here. So you're going to snuggle. It's almost like you're coming into a little cocoon you're making for yourself. You want to come forward enough, and you want to pull with your arms enough so you feel the back side. So this is where your hip bones connect with your hip sockets on the posterior side. So you're going to feel the muscles along your backside, particularly your glute minor. Get a nice stretch here. You want to let your belly hang. Let's have a relationship now with our belly. So our solar plexus center, the center of our dharma, our identity, our ego, the healthy one and the not so healthy one, and that possibility of who we're meant to be in this world. So we release anything that gets in the way of us truly being our authentic, most real selves at the core of our being. And we do that with every exhalation we breathe here. We let our belly expand like a balloon on inhalation and draw back in, like navel towards spine on exhalation. So it's like you're giving your belly a little pump. You're saying hello to that belly. Let me live from my true nature. Let me live from the solar part of my sunshine within. Good. And on your next breath, as you fill up completely, lower down just a little bit more, give in to the shape. One last hold here, 20 to 30 seconds in silence. This body that is the form I'm in exists in space with all the elements and all the creatures and all the life. The essence is we share this breath. Inhale, come all the way up, and then slowly take the legs straight out in front of you. Just give them a little shimmy. I'm gonna bend and press the backs of my legs to the ground, leaning back on my hands. And then you can kind of internally and externally shaking the legs out. Perfect. All right, next movement, we're on our back. Make sure you have a block handy if you have one. So we'll come all the way onto our back. Pull the heels in towards the groin. So we're in a pre-bridge, bridge prep position. So Satya Bandhasana. So not going to do anything particularly with our shoulders today. There's a few moments or movements that may be helpful as we kind of start to prepare for bridge pose. And we're going to go into full bridge, so the extended version of bridge today. So one of the things I always notice with myself is a little twist goes a long way. We haven't done a ton of lateral movement today, just our little side bends. So let's get some lower body twists.
So just let the knees draw first in towards the chest and belly. So let them hover in side by side. And then let the knees go from right to left, but don't let them come all the way down to the floor. Just rock side to side and kind of use your belly muscles, turn them on so you catch your legs before they go to the floor. Okay, you might need to bring your arms out, maybe in a cactus field goal position to kind of give you that connection to your shoulders to help level you. Okay, so rock and play with how far you can rock your knees all the way over and then bring them back up again. So once that belly gets turned on, you're going to notice you have a little bit more strength to lift and lower your legs. And as that strength builds, let your knees lower almost all the way to the ground and then bring it back up. And do that with each side. And see if you can do that with the strength of your inner body. So connection to belly, connection to heart. You can begin to let your head turn opposite of your legs. So as my knees fall to the right, I shouldn't say fall, as my knees go to the right, I'm looking to the left and I'm inhaling the center. And as I exhale lower to the left, I'm looking to the right and then lifting it back up. So you always have that side body turned on, even as you're twisting. So the spine is getting the massage, the hips are getting in the massage as we feel the weight of our leg bones moving back and forth. Keep going. So we're going to do this for another 30 seconds or so. Notice how your low back feels against the floor. So as you come to center, you want to feel your low back kind of stay down. And as you go from side to side, you feel the weight transfer from right and then to center and then to left. So wherever your body is touching the earth, as you move, feel that. And then notice your obliques and transverse abdominis also helping you do the work here to lift and lower the legs. Last round. Good. Nice massage. And then coming back to center, place the feet on the ground, grab your block. So today, instead of being at the lowest part of your block, so your block has 3 levels. It has the lowest level, and then the next level, and then the highest level. So I like to say this is New York City, Chicago, and then Los Angeles. Kind of like how the cities are, right? So we're in Chicago. Push down through your feet, hips distance, lift the hips, slide the block underneath, and then let your sacrum, the big bone above your booty and below your waistline, rest on your block. Now at Chicago, you don't have a big space to rest. So rest it at the top part of the sacrum, okay? Just under the low back. Your tailbone is gonna hang off a little bit, and that's gonna expose that whole front of your pelvis. So keeping the thighs like 2 train tracks, the feet like 2 train tracks, you know, so the shin bones and the thighs and everything on your lower legs are parallel with each other. And about hips distance, really pay attention to where your pubic bone and 2 hip bones form also that triangle. So incidentally, we have the relationship of the pelvis, the sacrum, the sitting bones, very similar to the back of the head. So just feel the back of your head, the occiput, so the occipital ridge, the 2 bones at the base of your skull. Relax your head, relax your hips, let it sink towards the earth, let the front of your body open. Now, as long as you feel okay here, if you want, you can even rest your upper arms on the ground and let your hands come onto your hip bones. Play with sliding your right leg straight out along the floor. And just point and flex your right foot a couple times. Good. And then with the right toes pointed and your right hand kind of tapping your right pelvic bone, Play with just lifting and hovering your right foot heel off the ground and then lowering it with control. Now, if that's too much, just let it hover and then lift it a little higher and then let it hover and lift a little higher. So you're turning on some of those psoas and thigh muscles. Good. And then pull your right knee in before you place your right foot to the ground. Good. Extend your left leg straight out. So you can just slowly, you might have to keep a little bend in your left knee. Okay, point and flex your left foot. Feel how that transfers energy all the way up into your left chest point, left belly. It's connecting back into the solar plexus, feeling the relationship of the upper body and the lower body. Good. Play with hovering that left heel off the ground. So tap your left hip so you know where you're lifting from. Let it hover and let it lower. As long as that's safe for you, you can hover and lower. If it doesn't feel safe for your hip, you can hover and then lift. Just about 5 inches in each direction. Good. Now we're turning on muscles that may not usually turn on. So if you feel some cramping, take a break. Pull your left knee in, hinging at your hip, left hip, and then lower your left foot to the ground. Good. Push it to your feet, lift off your block, and then lower it into the LA mode. So the lower part of your block, and set your booty back in. Good. Hug your knees into your chest from here. Make little circles with your knees, massaging out your sacrum. Circle in the other direction. Good. Take your right leg, reach it up to the sky. Bring your right foot down to the ground. Hug your left knee in. Good. Do that again. Push your left knee slightly away. Bring your right leg to the sky. And then do that again. Extend your right leg out on the floor. Pull your left knee in. If you want, you can do this more actively. Just you can actually hug your left knee in with your left hand as you extend your right leg out. And then pull it away. 2 or 3 more. Awesome. So right leg extends, left knee points, and then point both knees to the sky. Switching it out, left leg straightens. Right knee pulls in as the left leg comes down to the floor. Left leg to the sky, right knee away. Pull the right knee in, extend the left to the floor. I notice I get a little thump here, and it's because I have a little bit of weakness in that left joint. So I may just come to hover. So when I get to that point right before that thumping. Good. I can feel that muscle working. It's shivering just a little bit as I raise and straighten that left leg and point it and lower it. So maybe 2 or 3 more. Feeling for those little edges inside of you. Connecting. And then bend both knees. Bring the feet down to the ground. Okay, we're on the lower part of the block. So I want you to extend both legs now together. As long as that feels safe for you, you can stay here. If you need to widen your legs a little bit, do so. You can play with pointing and flexing your feet in this position. So both legs together give you that full bridge pose. Some of you can do this full bridge with a bigger back bend. So you can come back to the Chicago block and go into the full back bend from here and get a bigger stretch across the front of the body. And wherever you are, wherever you end up, take some deep breaths. If you need to come down off and out of all these bridge poses, you're welcome to. Before you come out, just make sure you come back to the original bridge in first position, push into both feet, slide the block out from underneath, and lower from the top of your spine towards the base. So we're kind of rounding the spine as we come down real slow. And when we get our hips to the ground, pause without doing anything for just a moment. Have your hands on the tops of your thighs. Take a breath in and out. And your counter pose is drawing your knees into your chest, separating your knees. And you can kind of play with a little version of happy baby here, keeping the knees open. It feels good to grab your feet. This is going to help release the low back. Some people really love coming forward and back and doing some variations of plow position here. We're in our tail end. So if plow feels good, do it. If happy baby feels good, do it. Just about 30 seconds in your pose of choice for this release. So I'm choosing to stay with those hip openers because that really helps to release the back after our bridging. We spent a lot of time bridging. So exhale way down deep into your sitting bones and into the bowl of your pelvis, whatever pose you choose. Good. Final counterbalance. Release your feet. Extend yourself straight on the floor, but place your hands underneath your backside. So your palms are facing down. Your butt is resting on the backs of your hands. If you want, you can extend your arms straight. So I have longer arms than torso. So when I extend my arms straight, I actually have my butt is on my wrists rather than the backs of my hands. So you can play with that. Couple options. You can point your toes away from you as you push your elbows down into the ground. Let your head go back and then flex your feet when you come into fish pose, Matsyasana. You let your heart, your throat, and the crown of your head all open in a countering position. Now your head's on the earth. Feel that. Your throat is open. Your heart expansive. Your prana is flowing. Push your hips down into your hands. Extend your legs. Press your elbows. Get another big stretch here, opening the front of your chest. And as you exhale, release, lowering down, untucking your hands, untucking your chin and head. When you come back to a neutral position on your back, you may find a twist will feel the best. So back to our twisting, more passive. You're going to take your right hand or both hands around your right knee or shin and extend your left leg out along the floor. Crossover twist, left hand to right knee, cross the right over to the left. Okay, you may have to, before you go too far, you may have to shift your hips over to the right side of your mat so you can get the left knee all the way around. Get that nice rotation through the spine. Look over your right shoulder, maybe send your right arm overhead. Let the right side, chest and armpit open up. One more big breath here. And release, coming back to center. Hug the knees in, reset. Lift the head up to the knees, squeeze. And then change sides. Left knee into the belly, right leg out along the floor. Right hand, left knee. Crossover twist. You may try it first just without the shift of the hips, or you may come back to center, place the foot on the ground, shift the hips to the left side of your mat, and then come back. So I like shifting the hips because it just gives me a little bit more access to elongation in my spine rather than compression in my spine. For me, I'm compressed enough. We all are compressed enough with all the sitting we do at our desks or on the couch or in our cars. So as much as we can get into something alternative than that, I'm all for it. A relationship to your chest, to your belly, to your spine, to your legs, to your arms as an extension of your heart. One more big breath here. Ooh, my armpits were tight. Let's inhale back to center. And we'll make our way towards Shavasana. If there's any poses that you want to do, at one point I was thinking we were going to do
the boat pose, doing a little bit more belly work, but I want to get into some of our resting positions. So I'm gonna put on some music, take a little bit of time to free flow, let your body move in whatever ways it feels good with. We come back to our bodies with a beautiful sutra, Sutra 34. The air I am breathing was exhaled in ecstasy by an ancient sun. The earth upon which I rest was born of cosmic fire. The blood flowing through my veins is as salty as the primordial ocean, and the space that permeates my body is as infinite as the space all around. Above, below, to all sides, within, the elements of the universe are engaged in their ceremony of delight. This is my religion. The attraction between suns is the same as the love pulsing in my heart. So we acknowledge all those cosmic forces, the elements within, our relationship and our shared consciousness with all, everywhere. And in that relationship, we are at home with ourselves, with life, with all beings. Return to the natural movement of your breath and allow your awareness to rest in it. The gentleness, rising and falling, expanding and contracting, in and out. We give and we receive through life. In practice, all is well. All the natural laws that are operating out of effortlessness. It's like Shavasana. Everything unfolds naturally in the course of things. So we reconnect with staying out of the way of those natural forces guiding us. We release our mind and trust in our own hearts and spirits, so we know what to do and when to do it in the most divine of time. As soon as you feel ready, you can begin to blink open your eyes or wiggle your fingers and toes. And find yourself renewed and refreshed in some way. We brought in this intention early on today to feel that union, the unification within ourselves and all things. Make our way up to a seated position. Let's spend just a few minutes meditating together. So allowing yourself to rest in your seat. And if you feel like something about the way you're sitting is uncomfortable, change it. Get to a place where you feel really comfy. We'll take this time to just receive, watch, listen, and know. Acknowledge how beautiful it is just to be, just to sit and receive and listen, feel and exist. Sure, nowhere to go and nothing to do. Just embracing each moment, each breath. We know this is available to us at any time. How nourishing it feels. So even when we have a day where meditation feels uncomfortable, we can still focus on the way the wind is blowing on us, or the sound of the birds, or the feeling of the earth underneath us to keep us anchored. saying our prayers of gratitude. Bring our palms together at our heart. Thank you, Great Spirit, for the earth underneath me and for all the nourishment that comes from the earth and the beauty that rises from it. Bursting of flowers, the trees, and the dirt that grows our food, the animals that graze. Thank you to all the creatures, great and small, that are here with us on this earth. Thank you for our breath. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for all the experiences I have so I can learn and grow and become what I know I am to be, and that is of spirit, of light, of peace, of love. Thank you for the daily reminders to turn towards my own wisdom, turn to the wisdom of Great Spirit, God, love, to guide me. Thank you for the people and the humans that are close to me, that share this life with me, that insist that I grow and change for the better, and that witness me and I can witness them. Thank you for all the days that I've been given and all the days to come. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy. May all beings everywhere feel no suffering. May they know how to relieve their suffering through focusing on the light of the true nature that is within and all around. Thank you for my freedom. Bless the freedom of all beings everywhere. Let us know it and live it in true form. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace to all, love to all, light to all. Namaste. Thank you for being here with me. Never too far. Always together in union and in yoga. Beautiful, beautiful rest of your day.